Join me on this 4.5 miles kayak on the Leam River and the Avon River from Leamington Spa to Warwick on the 21st of September 2024. Discover what it's like paddling on the Leam River through the regency town of Leamington Spar. See how I managed to negotiate the two weirs along this route, and how I joined onto the larger Avon River for the second half of the journey, and find out about the magnificent Warwick Castle near to the end of the route. This 4.5 miles kayak in Warwickshire started on the Leam River in Leamington Spa and ended on the Avon River at Warwick. At 11:30 am I launched onto the Leam River from near to Newbold Combe Park. After negotiating the Mill Bridge Weir and the Prince's Drive Weir, I continued downstream and joined onto the Avon River. I paddled down to the medieval Warwick Castle before landing at St Nicholas's Park in Warwick at 2:30 pm. I'm just going to launch onto the Leam River. My car is up in the Newbold Combe car park about 200 metres up there. I started by paddling upstream for a bit on my maiden voyage on the Leam River. The Leam River rises in Northamptonshire, then flows through Warwickshire, including the town of Leamington Spar, which it is named after. I can't go any further upstream because of these works being done to this bridge, so I'm going to head back downstream now. There's a small flock of Canada geese blocking the river ahead, but it looks like they're moving to the side to let me through. Royal Leamington Spa, commonly known as Leamington Spa or simply Leamington, contains some fine regency architecture. For 400 years, the settlement was under the control of Kenilworth Priory. Leamington began to develop as a town at the start of the 19th century due to the rediscovery of spa waters there. As I approached the middle of Leamington, I passed a group of paddleboarders who were being tutored by instructors from Leam Boat Centre. I've got terrible balance and I suspect that I'd spend more time in the water than on the paddleboards if I tried paddleboarding. I'm looking downstream towards the Mill Bridge and Weir in Leamington with the spire and tower of All Saints Church in the background. I'm going to head back upstream a bit and land at Leam Boat Centre on the left side, the portage around the weir along the left bank. This is the entrance to Leam Boat Centre on the left bank about 150 metres upstream of the weir. I'm at Leam Boat Centre. I've got to carry my kayak and gear down below the bridge and weir now. I've just stopped for a bit of a rest and to have a look at the Mill Bridge and Weir in Leamington. Apparently I've got to go down an alleyway and then launch back into the river off a ramp down there on the left hand side. This is the alleyway which leads down back onto the river about 50 metres below the weir. This pair of swans are probably wondering what I'm up to. I'm going to launch back onto the river here. I'm back on the water and I'm going to carry on downstream through the middle of Leamington Spa. As I paddled past the pump room and gardens in Leamington Spa, some young kids who were on York Bridge with their parents waved as I passed by. They were probably asking their parents what that silly man was doing on the river on a hot afternoon on a strange looking blue thing. You can see the tower of St Peter's Church over there on the right behind those trees. I'm just passing Leamington Spar Canoe Club, just as well they're not out on the river this afternoon or they would really show me up. I veered over to the right side of the river as I spotted some fishermen on the left bank. You always have to keep an eye out for fishing lines when paddling in the summer. I'm just coming up to the Prince's Bridge and just downstream of it you can see the Prince's Drive Weir. The water level is quite low at the moment, so it looks like I can just clamber over the Prince's Drive Weir on the right hand side. I'm looking back upstream towards Prince's Drive Weir. I portaged it on the right hand side, but if you were more adventurous you could paddle over it on the left hand side maybe. As I paddled downstream west of Leamington Spar, the river suddenly felt quite wild and remote after the hustle and bustle of central Leamington. Regarding logistics, I parked at Leamington in the Newbold Combe car park on the west side of the town and launched onto the Leam River just below there. At Warwick, I landed on the right bank of the Avon River at St Nicholas Park and booked a taxi from there to take me back to Leamington Spa. While there are several bus services and even trains which run between Warwick and Leamington Spa, these usually involve a longish walk either side to get to or from the riversides. I approached the confluence of the Leam and Avon rivers. As you can see, the Avon River is wider than the Leam River. The water level at the Warwick gauging station on the day of my trip was 1.15 metres, which was a bit low but within the usual range for that location. I joined onto the Avon River and continued downstream towards Warwick. This 4.5 miles trip was shorter than my usual river routes, which are mostly between 5 to 12 miles or so. I was a bit pushed for time, plus there was quite heavy rain forecast to come in late afternoon, so I was happy to do a shorter route and hoped that I'd land at Warwick before the rains came in. I'm ashamed to say that I'm a fair weather paddler and only generally go kayaking when the weather's okay. The bridge in the footage carries the Grand Union Canal, which is another great paddling route. The 137-mile Grand Union Canal stretches from Birmingham to London. Along its length it has an impressive 158 locks. It sounds like a great canal, but that's a lot of locks to portage around. On this trip I was using an Aqua Spirit single-person inflatable kayak. While not the quickest of kayaks, it's compact, quite stable and relatively light to carry when portaging. It has a high pressure drop stitch floor which inflates to 8 psi and the side tubes inflate to 2.5 psi. I'm uploading a long-term review of the Aqua Spirit kayak to our product reviews playlist of our channel. Since rivers like the Leam and the Avon have a fair number of weirs and locks, if like me you're going to portage around them rather than paddling over them, then you probably want a fairly light kayak. I'm going to land on the right hand bank in St Nicholas's Park in Warwick, but first I'm going to go down underneath the bridge and have a look at the castle. I'm just passing the boat hire centre in Warwick. Maybe I should hire one of those white swan boats for my next trip on the Avon. I continue downstream from Castle Bridge towards the magnificent Warwick Castle. The original wooden Motte and Bailey castle was rebuilt in stone during the 1100s. As you can see, I can't continue any further downstream because of the weir beside Warwick Castle. The land either side of the weir is within the castle grounds, so I can't really continue any further downstream from here. I'm going to head back upstream now and land on the right bank at St Nicholas's Park, hopefully before the rain comes in. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video then please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing by clicking on the left above. Click on the right above to see videos of my other trips along Shakespeare's Avon. Happy paddling from the kayak crew.